He was the perfect husband, or so everyone thought. Mark was handsome, successful, and utterly devoted to his wife, Sarah, for 10 years. Their marriage was the envy of all their friends. They lived in a beautiful house, took exotic vacations, and seemed to share a bond that was unbreakable. Sarah felt like the luckiest woman in the world. She trusted Mark completely, never once questioning his late nights at the office or his frequent business trips. He was building their future, he'd always say, and she believed him. But perfection is often a mask, hiding secrets too dark to imagine. One rainy Tuesday, a single, anonymous email landed in Sarah's inbox, and the perfect world, she knew, began to shatter into a million pieces. The email contained just one photo, but it was enough to ignite a firestorm of doubt. It was a picture of Mark, his arm wrapped around another woman, both of them laughing, looking intimate. Sarah's heart pounded in her chest. It had to be a mistake, a cruel prank. But the man in the photo was undeniably her husband. For the next few days, Sarah lived in a fog of denial and confusion. She tried to convince herself it was an old photo, or maybe a relative she didn't know. She confronted Mark, her hands trembling as she showed him the picture on her phone. He laughed it off, cool as ever. He claimed the woman was a colleague from an international branch, and the photo was just a friendly, innocent moment from a team dinner. He was so convincing, so reassuring, that Sarah almost believed him. Almost, but a tiny seed of suspicion had been planted, and it began to grow, its roots wrapping tightly around her heart. She couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. The man she shared her bed with suddenly felt like a stranger. The loving looks, the tender touches, were they all part of an elaborate act? The perfect life she cherished now felt like a fragile house of cards, ready to collapse at any moment. Driven by a desperate need for the truth, Sarah decided to do something she never thought she would. She started digging. Her first stop was Mark's social media, which she had always ignored. He claimed to hate it, but she found a private profile under a different name, a name she didn't recognize. The profile picture was a generic landscape, but the friends list was a goldmine. She spent hours scrolling through names and faces, her heart sinking with every click. Then she found her, the woman from the photo. Her name was Chloe, and her profile was public. Sarah's breath caught in her throat as she scrolled through Chloe's pictures. There were dozens of them featuring her husband. Not just one innocent team dinner, but a whole life. Pictures of them hiking, at fancy restaurants, on a beach that looked suspiciously like the one in Hawaii he'd claimed to visit for a solo work conference last year. They looked so happy, so comfortable, a real couple. The betrayal hit Sarah like a physical blow. This wasn't just a fling, it was a parallel life. He had built an entirely separate existence with this other woman. The dates in the photos lined up perfectly with his business trips and late nights. Every lie he had ever told her was now laid bare in a digital photo album of his deceit. Sarah felt a cold rage replace the initial shock. This wasn't just about cheating. It was about the complete and utter disrespect for their 10 years of marriage, for the life they had built together. He hadn't just lied to her, he had made a fool of her. He had allowed her to pour her love and trust into a man who was living a double life. The perfect husband was a phantom, a character he played, while his true self was out building a different story with someone else. Sarah closed her laptop, a new, steely resolve hardening within her. She wasn't going to cry anymore. She was going to uncover every single lie. Sarah's investigation took on a new intensity. She hired a private investigator, a discreet man named Mr. Thompson, who came highly recommended. She gave him everything she had found, Chloe's name, her social media profiles, and the dates of Mark's supposed business trips. While Mr. Thompson began his work, Sarah had to continue playing the part of the loving, unsuspecting wife. It was the hardest thing she had ever done. Every evening, when Mark came home and kissed her, she had to fight the urge to recoil. Every "I love you" he uttered felt like poison in her ears. She would smile, ask about his day, and listen to his fabricated stories about work, all while knowing he was a complete fraud. The emotional strain was immense. Some nights she would lie awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering who the man sleeping beside her really was. She felt like an actress in a twisted play, and she couldn't wait for the final act. Mr. Thompson was efficient. Within a week, he came back with a preliminary report that confirmed Sarah's worst fears and then some. Mark and Chloe weren't just dating. They were practically living together whenever he was out of town. He had rented a sleek, modern apartment in a city 3 hours away, the very city he claimed to visit for his regional meetings. He had introduced Chloe to his work friends, a separate circle of people who had no idea he was married. The report included photos of Mark and Chloe holding hands while grocery shopping, kissing in a park, and entering the apartment building together. He had even bought her a car. The depth of the deception was staggering. It wasn't a secret affair. It was an entire second life, funded by the money he and Sarah had earned together. The man who complained about their budget at home was living lavishly with another woman. The most shocking discovery was yet to come. Mr. Thompson found something else, something that made Sarah's blood run cold. Chloe was pregnant. The investigator had found a receipt from a high-end baby boutique and a post from Chloe's private blog, where she wrote excitedly about her partner M and their future baby. The due date was in 4 months. Sarah felt the air leave her lungs. A baby. He wasn't just building a second life. He was starting a second family. The man who had always told Sarah he wasn't ready for kids, that they should wait until they were more financially secure, was about to become a father with his mistress. The hypocrisy was suffocating. All the excuses, all the delays, it was all a lie to keep his two worlds from colliding. He had robbed Sarah of the chance to have a family with the man she loved, while secretly creating one with someone else. Armed with this devastating truth, Sarah knew she couldn't just confront him. A simple argument would allow him to twist the narrative, to play the victim, or to try and lie his way out of it, as he had done before. No, he deserved to be exposed in a way he would never forget. She wanted him to feel the same humiliation and shock that she had felt. So, she began to plan. Her anger had crystallized into a cold, calculated strategy. She continued her charade as a devoted wife, but now with a purpose. She started quietly separating their finances, consulting a lawyer, and gathering all the evidence Mr. Thompson had provided. She copied bank statements, rental agreements for the secret apartment, and printed every last photo and blog post. She was building a case, not just for a divorce, but for his complete and utter downfall. Sarah decided the perfect stage for her reveal would be Mark's upcoming 40th birthday party. He had been planning it 4 months, a huge celebration at a fancy hotel with over 100 guest friends, family, and important colleagues. He wanted it to be a testament to his success, his perfect life. Sarah saw the irony and embraced it. She took over the planning, insisting on handling every detail to make it special for him. She hired a videographer to create a tribute video filled with messages from loved ones. She told Mark it was a surprise, and he was thrilled, completely oblivious to the real surprise she had in store. She spent weeks collecting heartfelt video messages from their friends and family, all of them speaking about what a wonderful, honest, and loving man Mark was. It was perfect. The night of the party arrived. The ballroom was beautifully decorated, filled with people who loved and admired Mark. He was at the center of it all, beaming, with Sarah on his arm, playing her role to perfection. She smiled, laughed, and toasted to her wonderful husband. As the evening progressed, the time came for the tribute video. Sarah took the stage, microphone in hand. "For my amazing husband, Mark," she began, her voice steady. "You are a man of many talents, a man who lives life to the fullest. I wanted to put together something to show you just how much you mean to all of us." The lights dimmed, and the video began to play on the large screens around the room. It started exactly as everyone expected, with sweet messages from his parents, his sister, and their closest friends, all praising his character and integrity. Mark watched, a proud, happy tear in his eye. Then, about 5 minutes in, the music changed, the heartfelt messages stopped. The screen flickered, and a new photo appeared, Mark and Chloe, kissing on the beach in Hawaii. A confused murmur spread through the crowd. Before anyone could react, another photo flashed on the screen, then another. Mark and Chloe grocery shopping, Mark and Chloe outside their secret apartment. The happy birthday video had turned into a slideshow of his secret life. The room fell into a stunned silence, broken only by the clicking of the slideshow. Mark's face went from confusion to sheer panic. He looked at Sarah, who stood on the stage, watching him with a cold, calm expression. The slideshow continued, each photo a dagger. Then came the finale. The screen showed a screenshot of Chloe's pregnancy blog, with her joyful announcement circled in red. A close-up of the ultrasound photo followed. The final image was a text overlay on a black screen. "Congratulations on the baby, Mark. I guess you were ready for a family after all. Just not with me." The lights came up. Every single eye in the room was on Mark, his face pale and slick with sweat. His parents looked horrified. His boss looked furious. Sarah's voice cut through the silence, amplified by the microphone. "The party's over," she said, her voice clear and strong. "And so are we." She dropped the microphone on the stage with a loud thud, turned, and walked out of the ballroom without a single look back, leaving the ruins of her husband's life behind her. She never saw him again, but she heard he lost his job, his friends, and the respect of his family that night. As for Sarah, that was the first day of her new, honest life. Thank you for listening. Remember to subscribe for more stories.